Hey guys, it's May 21st, 2020, and I just want to point out where we're at right now. This is pretty amazing. So we've got an average of about 150 instances running, 106 pages each, sitemaps along with the main pages, and it's all color-coded this brown. So if you walk through, these are the steps down through to the brown, okay? And then the meta verification code was left in the ones that we intentionally put meta verification code in. At first we were doing it sort of randomly. Then after that, we kind of realized there's no real point to it. So sort of stick with like top entries for most of them. So we just kind of did that as we went along. But take a look at this. See all this? And the brown, just I don't know what to say. It's like 72 industries, okay, with 150 instances each is 10,800 instances right now. And I mean, they're live, right? They're totally live. We kept going back through them, making them better. Now, we're not quite done because I'm going to show you something funny. But I'm also going to show you just how powerful this is and how far along we are. So let me just kind of like walk through this really, really fast. What's first? So I went to one of the websites. I was trying to understand something, right? It's like, okay, here we have the main pages up here, these 6 here. And then what do we have? We have all these sitemap pages, 100 of them, right? And then the big question was, how come Google's not indexing the sitemap pages? Like if I do the site colon for that particular instance, I get 6 results. It's like, okay, it got all 6 of these main pages, but none of these. Why isn't it going through the sitemap? Well, we did a little research. It's like, okay, Google's doing a May 2020 core update, and it's a big deal, and it took a long time. I guess they're running behind on us. Also, if not that, then COVID-19, right? It's so much news and stuff. So I just couldn't figure it out. It's like, why not? And so I went out of my way finally when I got a little exasperated thinking it's got to be that some of these sitemaps start getting indexed, but I wasn't seeing it. I thought, why not? And I finally went like to one of these individual pages. I looked it over. Everything's fine. It's all unique. Everything's right about it. I mean, I went through lots and lots of these anyway. Google Map now requires billing. Doesn't mean that there's a coding change. It just means APIs you add in there have to be attached to your billing account. So either we're going to actually turn that on, but for all these BLS sites, we probably won't because there's no reason for it. So just flip it off. But for regular projects that you do, like for clients, then you're going to have to decide whose billing account that goes with, right? Whose API code. All right. Having said that, let me step back. So I went to Google and I did something that you can do in Google. You can ask Google to index a page. You can request indexing. So I just took one of the sitemap links, like this one way down here. See this? It's kind of highlighted, right? So it's like there's the link, and then it's Kansas City Best Home Renovation Companies near me. Best Home Renovation Companies.html. So I went to Google and said, please index this thing. And Google said, okay. And within a couple of hours, it was indexed. And this is actually the one. If you see down here with the hover link, I know it's hard to see, but there it is again. Kansas City Best Home Renovation Companies near me / Best Home Renovation Companies.html. That's it. It's indexed. Now I thought, okay, it did index, no errors, no problems. So what's the thing? So then I tried to do some searching for the exact verbiage. I put it in quotes and stuff. Couldn't find it at all. Tried to do like some of this in double quotes. Couldn't find it at all. Thought, why isn't Google showing any of this information, even if they're saying that the link is okay? I went and did some searching, and basically what Google said was, well, anyway, let me just tell you what we did first. We said, okay, let's force it. Let's go to link indexers. And I went through the link indexers. We went through a few, right? And we just said, so index a sitemap here, use another indexer, index a sitemap, another indexer, index another sitemap, index a sitemap. That's great because we get to study all these indexers at once and see how they work, how they act, and everything else, right? We said that's a cool way to go. And then I found out what the problem was. I went through Google and said, why wouldn't you be indexing this if there's no error with the page at all? And Google says, well, one of the reasons is simply that Google finds it a duplicate of another page. And I ruled out everything else that could be the problem. And I thought, why would Google see this as a duplicate? It's not. Different cities, different keywords, different contents, different meta tag, different meta description. Everything's different. Why would Google see it as a duplicate? Then I found out why. And that's what killed me. I just thought, oh my God. So here's the answer. I went and viewed the source code. And you know what I found? Our canonical URL points out the main page of the project or one of the main pages of the project, but not the actual page. So you know what we're telling Google? Every one of these links, look, if I just click it right now, you'll see. Okay, I'm gonna click it. Here it is. It's got this whole long URL. Okay, so it's the subdomain, then the main domain.com, and then the whole folder with the page, right? But if I go to the URL, view page source, and just check out the canonical, guess what it says? Subdomain.domain.com. You get it? Every one of those links is telling Google it's a duplicate of the main page. It's telling Google that whenever Google sees one of those pages, it should really just show the main page and consider the main page. It's like, oh no, because it's not. It has all this own unique content, unique backlinks and everything else. So it's like, oh my God. So now that we know that, we got to fix all the websites. You know how we do that? Same way we've been doing it many times as we've gone through upgrades. What most of you don't know is we're on a version 12 right now of the UAP, legacy UAP. And that version 12 means really that, the version 12 means that there are a bunch of coding updates that have to do with making things easier, making things faster, making things work better. There were different things we discovered, like you could switch things in the sitemap on the root, but you couldn't do it in subdomain. So that became an update. Every time we do it, though, we create a file updater. And the file updater, if I were to go to var sheet installer, log in there, the file updater, when we put it through, we just specify what domains, and it goes and it updates all the files in all those domains, right? We've got things in here for everything. Empty logs and zip recovers gigs on the server of extra space that got stored up. SQL query allows us to run particular queries. You know what else we can do? I mean, this is a beautiful thing. We've done a lot of things in here. One of them that turned out to be a really good idea. We download the connection.php file. I don't know how to put it, but if you're on a cPanel and you've got like 25 subdomains, and each of these are separate instances, you've got like 25, 26 total instances that are each connected to their own database with their own username and password. If you run a file updater and somebody accidentally included the connection.php file in the file updater, the dummy, then you broke all your connection.php files. And we had that happen. Do you know how hard it is to figure out which database goes with which set of files? I mean, they're all random numbers. It's like, no. So we built the ability to download them all and save them and then restore them as needed. So, I mean, we built all of these things, okay? So we can upload var sheets automatically. We can download var sheets automatically. We can randomize base global variables, ping the sitemaps, right? Change the GV values, change the batch values. And what do those mean, by the way? Change batch values. What does that mean? That means we can do something like this, okay? For all these different things that we have, whatever hair salons we take from anywhere, right? If we want to go back through that entire production, all those hundreds of websites, right, that relate to that particular industry, or to be in this case, it's like right there. Oh, I just passed it. Yeah, here, look. This is a column, all for best hairstylists in town. But to make sure we don't put too many backlinks through to just the client, we spread them out through several clients, right? We got 174 particular projects running here for this, okay? Right now, we got more coming. But here's the thing. What if, and here's the point, now that it's time, because these things have been getting indexed, the projects, the main projects, so it's time to start updating some of those backlinks. We want to change them from companies that we don't want to backlink really, or don't care to, we didn't make a difference for them. And we want to send those links to, like, let's say that was a client of ours right here, okay? It's not, but let's say that was. because it's just, you know, companies that we picked when we were running backlinks through different companies. So we can actually say replace every case of this with that. Okay, all the times that the anchor text pointed at that page, change it to that one. Every time it pointed to this page, change it to, oh, I don't know, that one. Every time it pointed at this page, change it to that one. And every time you pointed at some other page, change it to this other page way down here. You know, so then we can remove that client, and we've moved chunks of those backlinks across to those other clients in this list, those other pages that we wanted. Okay, we can do that with a whole find destination URL, the token, and that's how it works. It works this way. We put in this list of URLs, copy paste right into the var sheet installer for that particular piece, change batch values, right? There's this whole download the sample file and then import it. In the sample file, we put in the list of domains, we put in the token it's supposed to look up, like destination URL. Then we put in the before value. So anytime it finds that before value, replace it with an after value. And then we hit go. And it goes through literally all those productions, all these different, entirely different panels, right? All 174 of them. And it literally updates every case where that happened to be throughout the entire sitemap. Okay? Whether there were 100 links in the sitemap or 10,000 links in the sitemap, whole thing's going to be done fast because of our SQL compression technique. So we can update all of those cases in a couple of minutes, okay? And then we can do that going across the board, across our industries. We can literally micromanage our backlinks. We can micromanage our anchor texts, and we've been starting to. We've changed some keywords into naked URLs. We've changed some keyword columns that had good keywords, but they were excessive. It was like extra keyword columns. We've changed them into generic terms like visit website, click here, go here, learn more. All those things that we need to do to create the right kind of profile so that Google's happy with it, we can do at the press of a button, column by column, industry by industry, client by client, okay? So the whole time I was wondering, why aren't these sitemap pages showing up? Is the reason why. Just that, the canonical URLs. So we're going to run the file updater to fix the issue with the canonical URLs, and then Google's going to start indexing all those tons of pages, and those backlinks are going to kick right in. So for all you guys who've been waiting, yeah, this has been a lot of work, and it's taken a lot of time, but it's been worth it because of everywhere where we're going next. And so I'll do the video to follow this, just kind of walking through where we're going next. We've got some cool things coming up. I just want to point that out.